Have you ever wondered how the story of India's struggle for independence began? Well, the tale kicks off with the Revolt of 1857, often hailed as the First War of Indian Independence. This wasn't just a skirmish, it was a full-blown rebellion, a loud and clear message to the British Empire that India was not content with being a mere colony. From the sepoys of the East India Company's army to the disgruntled Indian nobility, many were key players in this uprising. Their reasons? A mix of cultural insensitivity, exploitative policies, and a blatant disregard for traditional Indian customs by the British. While the rebellion itself was ultimately suppressed, its impact was far-reaching. It shook the very foundations of the British Empire and laid the groundwork for the resistance that was to follow. It made the British realize that ruling India would not be a walk in the park. The Revolt of 1857, a significant milestone, marked the beginning of a long journey towards freedom. How did this sense of nationalism grow in India during the struggle for independence? Let's delve into this question. The late 19th century marked the establishment of the Indian National Congress, a political entity that became a beacon of hope for the Indian masses yearning for freedom. Around the same time, the Muslim League emerged, representing the interests of the Muslim community. These political bodies played a crucial role in amplifying the voice of the Indian masses on a national scale. Then came the partition of Bengal in 1905, a strategic move by the British that sparked widespread discontent and further fueled the fire of nationalism. In response, the Swadeshi movement was born, promoting the use of indigenous goods and the boycott of British products. This movement symbolized the collective resistance of the Indian people against British rule. The seeds of nationalism had been planted, and the desire for freedom began to grow amongst the Indians. What role did peaceful protests play in India's struggle for independence? A significant part of India's fight for independence was marked by peaceful protests inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolence and truth. This was a new approach to resistance, one that did not involve the use of brute force but the power of the people united in their cause. In the early 20th century, Gandhi led the non-cooperation movement, encouraging Indians to withdraw from British goods and services. The goal was simple yet profound: to disrupt the British economic system and push for self-reliance. The civil disobedience movement followed. It was a direct defiance of laws and regulations imposed by the British, again without resorting to violence. The iconic Dandi March, where Gandhi and his followers marched 241 miles to make their own salt, marked a pivotal moment in this civil disobedience campaign. Through peaceful protests, India was showing the world that the pursuit of freedom was unstoppable. What led to the final push for India's independence? The Quit India movement was a significant milestone in this journey. Launched in August 1942, this movement called for mass civil disobedience against the British rule, fueled by Mahatma Gandhi's clarion call of do or die. Around the same period, a parallel struggle was taking shape. Subhash Chandra Bose, a charismatic leader, had formed the Indian National Army with the singular aim of freeing India from British rule. His fiery speeches and the rallying cry of "Give me blood and I shall give you freedom" stirred the hearts of millions. Meanwhile, World War II was taking a heavy toll on Britain. The war strained their resources and weakened their hold over their colonies, including India. This global conflict inadvertently accelerated India's march towards independence. The call for do or die resonated across the country, and the final fight for freedom was in full swing. And then came the dawn of August 15, 1947. But was the journey over? No, the journey was far from over. This dawn of independence brought with it a mix of joy and sorrow. The joy of freedom, yes, but also the sorrow of partition. The Indian subcontinent was divided into two nations, India and Pakistan. This division led to a massive and often violent transfer of populations on both sides. The newly independent India was faced with numerous challenges. There was the task of nation building, of creating a constitution, a task undertaken with zeal and dedication. There were the wounds of partition to heal, the task of integrating princely states, and the responsibility of establishing a democratic government. However, despite the hurdles, India persisted. India's struggle for independence is a testament to the spirit of resilience and unity. A journey of 1,000 miles, filled with numerous sacrifices, had finally led to freedom at midnight.